And we're live. Let's play some beats. Nobody has any idea that this is going down right now. Also got to test the new headphones. What up, Joe? How's everybody doing? Wow, the response from you guys is insane. How do you guys even get in here that quick? How's everybody doing today? I couldn't leave you guys hanging. It's Wednesday. I knew people were expecting a stream. I have people that are just tapped into my schedule now. So we don't let the people down. Normally I start about an hour earlier, but my headphones broke. So I got these new ones. Feeling good. Joe, I see you all over the comment sections. You're just crushing. Yeah, Chris is going to pop in at 11:30 my time, so in about 45 minutes. I guess Durianrider's been harassing him behind the scenes, so it's going to be interesting to hear what's going on there. And then he's going to have a premiere on his channel after that. So we'll just kind of see what's cracking with Chris and then go from there. I don't have anything specific to talk about today. This was all kind of last minute planned. So just bear with us. Figured I'd do like a Q&A type of thing. People want to have some questions. Let's do it. I rarely entertain 100% solo, so this is going to be one of those rare days. I call it entertainment anyway. We could watch videos. We could talk about current vegan events. Nice. Thank you, Ziswayan Wanapo. What up, Clown Mazard? How you doing, buddy? Ah, perfect, Joe. Working at home, doing some art. You know, I did a lot of painting this week. House painting, home painting. And it was very good. I liked it. I think I might just become a painter. Any news this week, guys? Anything interesting going on in the vegan carnivore sphere? I feel like I've been so tapped out. I mean, I did a stream on Friday with Michelle. Okay, the experiment. I haven't made an announcement yet, but the experiment is going to be going down on Saturday. We got the experiment on Saturday. We're going to have Dave Feldman on live, and I'm going to cover this again later. So if you guys hear me say this a couple times, bear with me. So I'll tell you, since you guys are all the first few in here, we got vegan experiment on Saturday. Dave and the two guys are showing up. We're going to reveal their blood test before and after. They're both done eating the opposite way. They're both consuming whatever they want these days. And we are going from there. So I don't know much about their updates. I specifically do not keep up with them on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to know what's going on so that when they come on stream, we have more of a realistic live reaction to the information. What up, Tribby? What up, Zoopy? Drew, did you see Vegetable Police new video complaining about the vegan diet? No, but we can watch it. I know, I saw the Vegetable Police accusing vegan deterioration for camera trickery. Like, no, dude. I have physically seen some of these people in real life. There's no trickery going on. Yes, I understand some of the photos, like the one he showed with Megan Remedy. She's got the face, the light blinding her face or whatever, and it's like showing a little bit more imperfections. And then the next photo is kind of more blurry. All right, that one, you know, don't know. Don't know about that one. But there's a lot of cases where the vegan deterioration is very real. And she's been killing it, by the way, lately. I'm really proud of her. She's amazing. She's doing live streams, just chilling by herself. She's actually what inspired me to go on here solo. I will get Carnivore. Yeah, that's a great idea for a guest. I should have hit him up. I actually hit up a few people to get on today's show. I already had the Saturday stream planned last week, the one for the carnivore vegan experiment, but today I didn't have any guests planned, and I figured, okay, well, if there's no guests, then I'm going to go on solo. But really what happened was I got caught up because I had to help my buddy move into his house this week. I've been painting, and then my headphones broke. So I had to go research and buy new headphones. That's where I was at all morning. Otherwise, I was started an hour ago. According to Vegetable Police, sunken eyes aren't real, but keto eyes are. Okay, so I want to talk about the keto eyes because he accuses me of having the keto eyes, or other people have, with this little black lines. Dude, you want to talk about lighting? It all depends on what lighting is under my eyes. Like right here, you can see it. You can see a bit of the lines here. I always have those. That's because this area is like sunken in under my eyes. It's not actually black. So the lighting, if it's top-down lighting, you see it because it's kind of sunken in, right? It's kind of like how when people do abdominal poses for Instagram, they do top-down lighting so that it creates more of an effect of their abs. You know what I'm saying? Because in direct light, my eyes have there's no lines there. You can't see anything there. If it's natural lighting and it's direct, there's no coloration there. So yes, lighting does play into it, but to the extent that he's saying is completely BS. And I've seen with my own eyes the little sunken in eyes that people have. But as I go along further and further into this little journey of YouTube plus understanding about all the vegan diets and all this stuff, it's becoming a little bit more, I'm becoming a little bit more tolerant to, I guess, the vegans. I've definitely tempered my message a little bit. The way I deliver it, not the things that I say or the message that I deliver, or my point of view has not changed at all, but the way I deliver the message, for me to speak without hate speech or cursing is very easy. YouTube slapped me on the wrist one or two times. I will not let the vegans win with that. So, hey, you guys want me to deliver a harsh message in a softer tone? No problem. Easy. Yeah, lighting can't explain away those sunken upper lids from being too thin. Yeah, there's also little red lines too. I've had friends, we've compared their pictures. I have a photographer friend who understands lighting. She's a famous photographer. She sent pictures of herself with her eyelids in the same pose with the same lighting, and 100% without a doubt, she had like a little red line on her upper eyelid at the bottom there, and there was a lot of sinking going on around the eyes. And she's been back on animal foods for about a year now. She took the same photo. Those symptoms are reversed. She hasn't gained any weight either. I admit and I agree. Like, for instance, in the Elise video where I show that clip, I feel like we got called out a little bit in that clip. And I think it was slightly justified. I did not realize in that clip that Elise was at the end of her mold vegan allergy situation. And she was already eating a very little amount of food at that point. So yeah, it's crazy because I don't remember her looking that way in person when I saw her back then. But again, we didn't all hang out all the time. I mean, she lived like 30 minutes away from town. I wasn't up there all the time. She wasn't in town all the time. So I only saw Elise in reality like once every few weeks, maybe. And I remember her being skinny, but I don't remember her face looking like that. So a lot of the vegans came in, they're like, oh, she was at this point, because they all know her timeline perfectly. So they're already they're criticizing the timeline, and they're saying, hey, she was already starving herself at this point, already disordered eating. And it's like, okay, the timeline somewhat matches up, but when you look at the way her face recovered as soon as she went back to animal foods, it definitely looks differently. And I made a pinned post there for that. Joe Pearson got those black lines from anemia when they were vegan. Skin gets paler, so they show up. Yeah, but I mean, they still show up on me, and they show up on me even when I'm not pale. Like when I was in Hawaii as a vegan, and I was super tan, I still had those lines. There's no camera trickery, though, I would say. I have seen Chris's video about Mike the Vegan, yes. What up, Cindilas? Joe and Chase will be coming on Saturday along with Dave Feldman with the before and after blood tests. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, guys, please subscribe now. The events that we have going on over the next couple of weeks, we have some big guests coming on. Today is just going to be me, and then Chris is going to come on a little bit later to hang out. But Saturday, we're going to have the carnivore to vegan experiment update. We're going to have Joe Feldman on covering the blood test. That's going to be... I'd like to see 1,000 people live for that stream, to be honest with you, because that's going to be some serious progressive conversation movement. I think that stream will deserve 1,000 people in the audience, 100%. The information that we're going to cover there is going to be very, very in-depth. I expect it to be a really good stream. Dave's got a whole deck plan that he wants to share from his own screen. We're going to have some wild stuff going on. Yeah, I want to get Nikocado Avocado. I actually hit him up 2 days ago. I would really like to do a mukbang with Nikocado in LA. In real life. That would be cool. Some sort of ex-vegan mukbang. What do you think? Like, we, instead of vegans doing mock meats, we do mock vegan foods, but with meat products. Whew. Never been done before. By the way, you shutting up would be cool. Matt, okay, sorry, that's not going to happen. We have Jacko Wacko Vegano probably coming on next Saturday, so stay tuned for that. I've reached out to Unnatural Vegan. I've reached out to Veggies for Thought. I've reached out to a few other people. I'm sure Vegan Gains would love to be here to critique carnivore diet for raised LDL. It's expected. The LDL is going to go up. The HDL is also going to go up. And guess what? The triglycerides are probably going to go down. That's my prediction. The results are already in. None of us know what the blood tests show, so there's no way that I can affect those blood test results. They're already taken. And there you go. It's going to be interesting. A natural vegan would be a good one as well. I imagine us having a good conversation. I don't know. I don't want to say too much more. I want her to come on the show. I won't have anything bad to say to her. And who cares what I think anyways, right? Do you guys like better when I have the chat here and I'm talking to you here? Or would you be more ideal chat over here talking to you here? 1 or 2? Let me know. My mother married a 25-year-old man and she was 46 years old, so she looked very young at that age. Wow. Really? I need to see some pictures of this. 25-year-old guy married a 46-year-old woman? Was she rich? 2? Okay. Here, we'll test it out. We'll do a little beta test here. Now we're over here. This is how I normally do it, by the way. It's easier for me to look up at the camera, too. I guess this is better. Tanny 2.0. I'd like to get Tanny on here too, but she won't respond. I'll have to email her. Some people, they work better through the email. All right, we'll rock 2 then. This is how I normally do it, so it's not any easier. It's just that this is the normal setup because normally I have the guest here and I'm speaking to them here. Why do people take a natural vegan so seriously? I mean, the one thing that I see, I don't watch a lot of her material, so this is going to be just, don't take this out of context. But what I see from her is that she is honest about the fact that she doesn't eat the healthiest way. So that's cool. I'm down with that. I'm down with people who understand where the optimal line is, and then they tell you straight up, I don't do that. Like when you guys see me drinking Diet Coke, I'm happy to say that I'm not recommending Diet Coke to anybody, but I'm going to do that myself, which recently I stopped. So little tiny updates on me, guys. I'm almost done with these. I'm almost done with these Candida support pills. I'll make a video on that. It'll be a short one. There's not a whole lot to say, unfortunately, other than my digestion is perfect, honestly, lately. But I don't know if it's because of the pills or because of just because my body is going through whatever. I eat all kinds of stuff lately. I've been eating cookies. I've been eating cake. It's been people's birthdays. I had some wine and some beer this weekend. It definitely puts the fat on immediately. So if you're trying to cut, don't do that stuff. But I feel fine. My digestion is really good. So Clown says, I love how Chris debunked that one study where the guy with genetically low cholesterol still died of heart disease in his 50s. Yeah, see, I mean, people like Chris, and I really appreciate people like Chris and all the other, whether they're carnivore or vegan, and they want to dive into the studies. But to me, I'm really interested in what happens once we apply the information in the studies. And again, all I want for vegans is to admit that, number one, not everyone can do the vegan diet 100% successfully. All right, that's reasonable. Okay, so just give me a number. Give me a number, vegans. It's like, say 1%. 1% is fine. Say, we all know it's more like 95% can't do the vegan diet for life. But let's just say it's 1% can't do it. Great. Thank you. Now we can move forward and we could say, how do you know if you're part of that 1% or that 99%? See, it's a trap door for them. They will never answer this question, because once they admit that there's even 1% of the population that can't do it, that opens them up to way too much logical thinking based on the results, right? The studies say this. They say 99% of the time you're going to be able to do the vegan diet. Great. What happens if you're that 1%? And how do you know if you're that 1%? Why are we seeing so many people who appear to be in that 1%? Does that make sense? We need to start opening that conversation up. Trying to catch up with the chat here. Non-militant equals ain't got no clue. If you give out info, make a point. I agree. Have some value behind what you're saying, hopefully. See, my channel is 80% value, 20% entertainment. The pyramids, I have no idea, man. I have no idea how the pyramids were built. I'm not going to speculate on that. I ain't no pyramid expert. All I know is I had gas as a vegan, and I talk about that all the time. That's it. All right? I am still fasting daily, yes. I'm eating earlier because, like I said, I stopped eating or drinking caffeine. So I'm hungrier a lot earlier. I don't have that appetite suppression going on. And it's making me definitely want to eat earlier. I find that pretty interesting. So I'm eating bigger, and I'm starting to put on weight again, which is great. I wanted to put on weight. I was feeling so skinny after that long-ass cut I did. Let me get a little bit set up here, because I know Chris is going to come on in 25. This is kind of just a hangout for now, guys. We're just doing our thing. Anybody got any questions? Fire them at me. I'm happy to answer today. We're just kind of hanging out. It's going to be a quick stream. Relatively quick, anyway. What is Chris's email? I thought it was Kruger body. Been wanting to do a solo stream for a while. I know I did that one at the beach a few weeks ago, but that was sort of like a test just to see that I could do it for my laptop mobile, which we'll maybe play with that some more later. I have not asked Frank. No. That'd be a good one too. What would we talk about? What does he talk about in his live streams when he's just doing his solo stuff? Are people just like throwing random stuff at him, like some gamer kids that are just randomly chatting with him? It's kind of what I see with the vegan gains and what's my favorite game? Look, bro, I just spent a bunch of money on these headphones because I didn't want to wear these. The old school Siberia V2s. I'm not wearing no gamer headset up here. He criticizes vegan videos live. Oh, Frank does. Interesting. Is drinking heavy cream in my coffee at 7 a.m. and fasting till 2 still intermittent fasting? No, it's not. You're definitely breaking your fast. You're causing a metabolic effect. Frank looks up a bunch of vegan girls what I eat in a day videos. Yeah, that's a good format, I would say. Very, very drama filled. I want to move away from the drama. I want to move away from the drama. I want to move the conversation forward. I know that stuff grows the channel very, very rapidly, but the toxic environment that it creates is borderline not worth it. If you guys see on my videos, I get like 50% dislikes pretty much just right off the bat, just for showing up. A lot of them are the Elise haters that show up because there's hundreds and thousands of them. And then there's who else we got? The Elise haters, and also Bobby has some haters as well. Those videos got really trashed. Yeah. I'm down to talk about drama if it's fresh, and if it's new, and if it's groundbreaking stuff. I don't need to keep bashing on vegans. There's got to be another level to this thing. Yeah, like the video, get the ratio up. I would appreciate that. Well, no, Vegan Revolution is done. He's not around here anymore. Haven't seen him in weeks. Vegan Revolution, Vegan Foot Soldier, they won't come on the stream. I don't know what we're going to talk about with them, you know? What are we really going to say? They're going to say you're an animal killer, you never really made the connection with veganism. There's tons of healthy vegans that I know, even though I'm not that healthy, even though I say that I'm healthy. Like, okay. I know, I just almost don't want to give them any attention at all. I don't really care. How did Vegan Foot Soldier lie to his viewers? I'm interested now. Tell me about this. When Vegan Foot Soldier said that he was happy that people like me, Bobby, and the rest of the ex-vegans were taking away the fake vegans, that made me so happy. I feel like he really pushed that conversation forward there for a minute, because he actually admitted for once that there's like this weird vegan sub-club inside the vegan namesake that is what he's interested in being a part of, and the people that he wants to know to be a part of that as well. Will I get into fishing and hunting? I will definitely fish and hunt again in my life. I'm very interested. I got a bunch of pictures from friends this weekend in Hawaii, ex-vegan friends, and they gutted a pig. They shot a pig and they gutted it. And they were very happy. They got a bunch of meat. The local people got the meat. And everybody's eating. Excuse me for one moment. I have the link to Chris. Okay. OffGridHawaii, what's up, buddy? His name rhymes with Heaven Sock. Heaven Sock. Vegan Gains live streams are too cringy. He clearly thrives off the admiration. See, I think that's why a lot of people do the solo live streams, because they just amass an audience. They get all wacky and wild with their audience, and it's cool. I admire the work ethic. Like, I love doing this. I want to connect with you people on a more individual basis. I can't do that during my regular streams. So, but I do think that as that audience grows, they become like this little, you know, what are those fish that suck onto you and then the big fish swims around? It's like the little leech fishes. And they just love that attention. And that's cool. I get it. I wanted to be a game streamer for a while on Twitch, man. I was working on that for a long time. That's why I built this whole computer. That's why I can do the stuff that I can do with this YouTube streaming. I already had the computer for it. I already did the math, by the way. The pig that Bobby's family butchered was around 450,000 calories. Jesus. That's wild. Yes, exactly. The super chat donations flow in like crazy, I've noticed in their solo streams. When you're interacting with the audience is when you get the super chats. That's just how it works. What? Yeah. Hello, gang. I watch a lot of carnivore channels because I enjoy content variety. Yes, good. Who else do you watch, Honest? Bo Dadger says, sad that meat caused VP's colitis, even though he knew that he's allergic to dairy and that he was taking in dairy for 2 weeks. Presented blood tests results as atherogenic. Well, according to other people, at least from the carnivore side, his blood tests were not atherogenic. His triglycerides are extremely low. I have this guy that some random viewer of mine started hitting me up in Instagram DMs with all these charts where he plugged in all their numbers into the Framingham study data. And what he basically discovered was that every single person that is like a health YouTuber on YouTube, like including Michelle Lowe, Sean Baker, Vegetable Police, as a carnivore and as a vegan, he plugged in all their blood tests. And according to the Framingham data, they are all at extremely low risk for heart disease. So take your pick. They're all healthy. That's what the data is showing us, according to the Framingham study. All right? He says his kidneys are exploding. I know. He's dramatic. I think people get they stop being allergic to things that they used to be allergic to. I feel like if we're meant to drink raw milk, you can do it eventually. But it is sad that he had to reverse and bleed out of his butt to figure that out. Well, so what's the update on his vegan diet? He's not feeling good in the vegan diet? Hey, OffGridHawaii, I hope you get that pig, man. Just waiting for one to step foot on my property. I love it. You got a rifle yet? What do you got? Some traps? And I would love to show you guys the gun collection we got over here. I'll probably be banned off YouTube in 5 minutes. Everybody would be freaking out. Drew looking so clean. Yes. Primal Culture with the $5. There is another ex-vegan that you might like to interview. Her name is East Coast Creep. I've heard about her. I will reach out to her. All the people everybody's been telling me to reach out to, I've finally been reaching out to them this week. I got caught up on guests that were like hitting me up, so now I'm going to start having to reach out to people. And other people are still coming through too. Don't worry. I will absolutely hit up East Coast Creep this week. We're looking like we're going to have Jacko Wacko Vegano next Saturday, the 29th. Please take Elise hunting. The internet will lose their minds. That would be a video. They will freak out. Her viewers freaked out on her the other day for using a e-collar on her dog, because the e-collar's in the video. The shot collar, otherwise known as. Oh, the internet, man. These young people who probably never owned a dog in their life have no idea how to handle a dog. I've got a 125-pound Rottweiler here, guys. Do you know how hard it is to handle a 125-pound Rottweiler? It doesn't matter how good your training is, your techniques, your positive reinforcement. This dog will break your arm off. Straight up. You have to be like a solid individual to even handle the dog. And that's just because he's being playful. The collar causes muscle cancer? Good Lord. These people are so dumb. They have no idea how the shot collar even works. What up, Gung Fu? Just so that you guys know, I'm going to spread a 2-second lesson here on how to use an e-collar. You're not blasting the dog like as if you were shocking a criminal who's trying to mug you for your purse. That's not how it works. You're using a low-level electrical impulse that kind of like annoys them. Okay? And then it annoys them to the point where they stop doing what they're doing. Yes, there are times where you amp that signal up to get them to absolutely stop doing bad things. If they're jumping on people or if they're barking incessantly, You hit them with a high level impulse and they stop doing it. It's like a 1-second piece of pain to teach them the lesson, and they usually will stop. It's a very quick, effective way to teach a dog something. And that's the way it works. Dogs work from positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. You need both. I'd love to see all these whiners on the internet try and train my Rottweiler, who's an aggressive Rottweiler, by the way. I did not play... Oh, I did play Diablo 2, yes. Diablo 1, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, yes. I played every game. Every computer game. Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Ultima Online, all the shooting games... Everything. I've played everything. I built my computer specifically to play PUBG. And I was ranked top 100 in duos in first person. You can picture Elise shooting a Winchester. Thank you, Lukuma. You understand. You're being a responsible dog owner by using that dog collar. This is what I tell people. Imagine that your dog is off leash. You're trying to train your dog off leash, okay? And your dog is not responding to you. And your dog wants to run into the street with an oncoming car. What do? Do you let your dog just run to the street because that's what the dog wants to do and get hit by the car? That's how dogs die. Why would you want that? Now, what the e-collar lets you do is you tell the dog to come. If it doesn't come, you use the little light stim button. If he still doesn't listen to you, which he usually does, if he still doesn't listen to you and he gets in his little red zone mode where he wants to run off and chase a squirrel right into the street, you zap him with the powerful impulse and it stops them right in their tracks. Tell me, vegans, is that better? Animal rights people, whatever. Is that better to let your dog get hit by a car or to use a electrical impulse to stop them in their tracks? God. Logic and reasoning really eludes people. It's like you swear people adopted all these dogs that were just perfect little angels, right? They required so little training. All I did was provide them with love. And they just, no. It's not how it works. Go get a dominant male dog. Tell me how it works. They have no idea. Drew, you need to get into bow hunting to show those vegans up. Right before I went vegan, we're talking like a few months before I went vegan, I got really into archery. The idea of archery. I started going to all the archery stores. I had a really awesome archery shooting range right down the street from my house. They did events there where they would basically play golf, like 18 stations, and then you would see who got the closest shot to the closest arrow to the center, obviously. But they would set up these like obstacles. Some would be uphill, downhill, different size targets. Really cool events that they would put on. Clara says, I get the collar thing. My family has hunting dogs, and sometimes it's the way to go. It's not the first choice, but it's the adult thing in a bad situation. Yeah, and it's also a completely humane way to train them in a lot of situations. It's just the way. It's just sometimes that's what you need to use. It's the right tool. It's a tool. You know what I mean? Single-sided ampersand says, LOL, what do you know about behaviorism? I know I took a psychology class just like you in college probably, so don't try and flex on me. Trust me, I'm smarter than you. You don't need negative reinforcement to train behaviorally. You can train with positive reinforcement. Okay, so how do you train an animal not to do something with positive reinforcement? Doesn't work. That's impossible to do. You can't train a dog not to jump on somebody with positive reinforcement. Because if the dog is doing what you want it to do, which is not jumping, there's nothing specific for you to reward positively. But if there's the negative thing, you can negatively reinforce that action with an appropriate, what do you call it? An appropriate negative response. Punishment. That's what I'm looking for. With an appropriate punishment. What up, Lester? Those are the only two options, single-sided ampersand. Please come train my 125-pound male Rottweiler. We'll see how you do with your positive reinforcement. Okay, see, this is a clueless person right here. I love this. No one says not to use a leash, but you don't need to zap the dog. Common. Bring some damn treats. Okay, when a dog goes into red zone mentality where they're not paying attention to anything, they flip into dog mode, right? Where they just want to attack something, chase something, whatever. This is dependent on the dog. Some dogs don't do this. Some dogs do this. My dog does this. He's not interested in treats. He's not interested in food. Trust me, this dog loves food. That's all. He will be anybody's friend for food, but that's when he's in the house setting. But outside the house, if he wants to do something bad, he's not going to care about the treats. Elisa's so tiny. Watch your Roddy doesn't drag her off. Oh, there's no way she can handle the dog. He weighs 20 pounds more than her. 30 pounds more than her. There's no chance. She weighs like 95 pounds. I'm very scared of this kind of dogs here in the UK. There are multiple incidents where dogs kill people and babies. Hey, you know what? My dog, I'm very aware that he has bitten people's hands before. And I need to be ready to deal with that situation if it happens. Hope everyone's eating their fruit and training like a beast like me. Ferocious, exhilarated Mark Tassi? No! Ferocious, exhilarated Mark Tassi, thank you. Welcome to the channel. Wow. Mark Tassi, you know what? You're absolutely ferocious. Ferocious. They ask me, I say I'm ferocious. Welcome to the channel, Mark Tassi. I'm glad to see, you're feeling so good. Nice, Ben. Feeling much better water fasting today? Any single vegans in here that eat meat? Zap that 6-pound puppy, Sunshine State. People think that you're using like a 20,000 volt taser. Hilarious. There's just nothing in between for vegans, There's no area in between. You're either... Yes, I'm an SJW. You're either zapping the dog to death or, you need to let it just do what it wants to do. No collar, no leash. Let the animal do what it wants to do. Everything else is imprisonment. Should I bring the dog in here? You guys want to see him? T-Tribby, there you go. Yes, training calls. Very positive results with my Great Dane. Thank you for sharing. A big-ass dog. Great Dane. How much does your Great Dane weigh? How big is it? My cousin used the collar to help stop her dog from jumping up on guests who came to the door. After a while, the dog started peeing on the floor every time the doorbell rang. That's interesting. I think that they overdid it. Obviously, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. You use the level that gets the dog to stop the activity, not anything more. And you have to find that balance. Pitbulls should be holocausted? I don't know about that, man. Pitbulls are fine, but I do agree that they are more aggressive animals and they can do a lot of damage in a very short period of time. Pitbulls are very dangerous dogs. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen those dogs are the ones that are causing the problems at the dog parks almost every time. Animals know which is the stronger animal for the most part. I know people like to say, oh, my little 7-pound terrier bosses around my Rottweiler. Okay, sure. My Rottweiler here, when my brother brings his dog over, his dog is like a 20-pound golden doodle, and it humps the Rottweiler's leg, and the Rottweiler just looks at him like, what are you doing? He treats him like his pet, basically. Single-sided ampersand. Single-sided ampersand. I just gave you all the best explanations as to why you would use positive and negative reinforcement, and then you come back with something absolutely dumb to say. What I imagine happened right there was I gave you this information. It exploded your brain. You had nothing positive to respond with, and you just said that dumb comment. Is that what happened, true or false? Just put a T or an F. Everybody, what do you think? Put a T or an F if that's true or false for single-sided ampersand. I think it's true. Candida on toenails. It's all throughout your body if you have it on the skin. Ugh. Get a harness, get a muzzle, get what you need, but you don't need to punish the dog to train them. Harnesses make dogs pull. We got Kruger up in here? What kind of dog is Buttercup, Chris? We'll have you on in a few minutes. I agree with Tribby. Go own a big dog and you'll see where negative reinforcement must come in. Hey, Drew, I wrestle my Pitbull boxer so he knows I'm the boss. Hey, whatever works. Mr. Joe, Rice. I like it. I like the alpha male dog training. That's old school. I'm down with that, though. JG Lee, shout out. Yes, interview East Coast Creep. She's cool. And a shout out to Honest AF. Ooh, we got some love connections going on out there. What's going on out here? Y'all need to get a room. Honest, you hear that? Remember, I'm a vegan, vegetarian dating app expert. So, I mean, we can use the chat here as a dating tool. Maybe we'll just do a whole session where I link carnivore people to each other. You guys looking for some new pen pals? Clara says the e-collars are a great tool, just like anything else. Seeing people who have no experience with this preaching this bullshit is just stupid. I agree. I wish there was more sensible people, but they're all attacking Elise in her comment in her video, and it's so stupid. I'll send you the link in 2 seconds, Chris. Come on, I'll send it to you right now. Pop in when you get that. Okay. I'm gonna get the dog. Give me 1 second. Chris is coming in. Come here. Come here. Look at the camera, Brawley. Look at the camera. Where are you going? See, he's scared. He's got the e-collar on. He fears me. Brawley, come here. Meet the audience. They want to see you. Come here. He just wants to be pet right now. He's in the petting station. Let me get the camera angle down a little bit. Come here. Look up here. What are you doing? He was laying outside. I had to pull him inside. He's very cranky right now. Yeah, he's about 125 pounds. He's a big one. He's really lean though. Let me shut the door. Yes, they can get bigger, but he's really tall. Like, he's a very tall Rottweiler. I think we got Chris in here.
What's up, Drew?
Whoa! Hang on 1 second. Let me, I'm gonna... Give me 1 second here. This is not gonna be your name, but Michelle Lowe. That was from the other day.
I'm not Michelle Lowe.
This was an impromptu stream, and I had to go get these headphones today. But anyway, Chris, welcome back to the channel.
Yeah, I just got to say, man, travesty, though. Like, you with the hat and headphones, your hair is way too good, bro.
I know, dude. I got to get it back. I told him I wanted the Kruger. I was trying to get the mullet in the back, along with the top, you know.
Yeah, some hockey hair.
Yep, exactly. I wanted to go full hockey style.
Hey, Buttercup.
Yeah, bring Buttercup on here. Let's see.
Come on, big dog. Where you at?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, who's a big puppy?
It's a Dane?
Oh, yes, a Grand Danois.
Grand Danois.
You know, just for your
That
audience,
dog is awesome.
the Great Dane was actually bred to...
Move the camera over a little bit. Because,
Buttercup.
There we go. Yeah, Buttercup. I love it.
So full height, like you get her up on her hind legs, she's like 5'10", 5'11",
Jeez.
$140. Yeah, sweet puppy.
She's
good?
so docile.
Oh, the most docile.
She's so
like
cute.
The bigger the dog, the chiller they go. You're like, oh, because we used to have her in our apartment in LA.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, how do you have such a huge dog? But she literally takes up the amount of space that it takes to throw down a dog bed. Like, that's it. And actually, in our house now, she usually sleeps on the stairs, and like the stairs aren't even counted in your square footage, so she literally takes up no room.
Wow.
Go to your bed. Go to your bed. Go to your bed.
Elise's house is pretty small right now. It's a beach house, but there's these neighbors down the street that have a Great Dane, and they literally do everything with this dog. We see them in town walking their dog nonstop. They take him to every restaurant. Like you just walk down the street, you'll see them with their Dane on the patio everywhere you go. It's hilarious.
Yeah. In LA, it was 100% the same way until we had a baby. Like, you only think that you love dogs until you have a baby, and then you're like, oh, I have a baby.
Yeah, and then you leave the dog
You're
behind.
like, Buttercup, go to your bed. You know, just say, this is something Mike the vegan accused me of in his silly response video to me. He's like, somehow inferred that as a person that eats pigs, that I must also think it's okay to kill dogs because they're the same thing, except one has cloven hooves. And Mike, This is going to shock you, but I absolutely think that it is okay to kill dogs. Like, people put dogs down all the time when those dogs identify themselves as a threat to humans. Like, how bonkers do you have to be? Like, no, and this is where vegans go totally off the rails. Like, you think it's okay to kill dogs? Maybe I should come kill your dog. No, I love my dog. I care for my dog. My dog is not a threat to you. My dog actually sleeps on the stairs, and everyone feels very safe in my house because there's a giant dog. Right. But if a dog is a threat to people, just like poor Hammurabi or whatever, the gorilla in Cincinnati. You know,
Harambe.
Yeah. Irresponsible parents. The kid is in the gorilla enclosure. Not the kid's fault, but we can't let that kid die.
No.
So, and how much more valuable is a gorilla than a dog? Like, it's absolutely insane that you would be like, oh, and to have that as like a put down. It's okay to kill dogs. Yes, it's okay. Like, 300 Pitbulls are put down in Los Angeles County every single day. Okay. And if you really felt that these dogs were equal to humans, you'd be like, oh my God, it's the Holocaust. But it's not. It's dogs that are dangerous to humans being put down. Period. So yeah,
is that a real stat? 300 per day? Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm all for Pitbull rescue and being rehabilitated and, you know, going to live on a ranch in the valley. But if dogs are a danger to human and there's no place to put them, then you put them down. Sorry if that's a bummer for all you vegans out there, but that's just the facts of life, because you cannot risk a dog attacking a child, period.
No, right. And we were talking, you were here for that whole e-collar conversation, right? Where we're talking about how the vegans are freaking out in Elise's video about the...
I was listening, I was going back and forth, like getting ready.
Yeah.
You know, like the breeder we got Buttercup from loves, and they're all like her dog. To her, they're like almost like children. And it's because she doesn't have children, so she doesn't know what actually having children is like. But loves these dogs more than anything. And she made it very clear to us when we got Buttercup is that you have to discipline this dog. You have to set clear boundaries. You have to use the choke collar and teach her how to walk. You know, this dog is so strong. If she wants to run into traffic, good night.
Yep.
So unless you put the choke collar on properly and use it effectively and train her on it, she's just going to kill herself.
Yep, that's how this dog is too. I mean, when I walk him, I have the prong collar on with the e-collar as well, and I use them both at the same time. And if it just saves my arm, you know, if he wants to bolt off, I mean, even the prongs won't stop him.
Yeah, well, and
you know,
there's nothing more idiotic than people that do have big dogs walking them on harnesses or walking them without the choke collar.
Right.
Like,
well, if the dog is extremely well behaved, I get it. But the thing is these people, I don't know how they got lucky with these dogs, but that's not every dog. Some dogs don't give a shit.
And if the dog is well behaved, then it absolutely doesn't matter. You put a choke collar or a prong collar on a well-behaved dog, it's never going to bother them.
Correct. Exactly.
And then it's there for emergency situations when you need to save the dog's life. You're literally saving the dog from itself because it's a stupid canine.
Yep.
And
exactly.
we love our dogs, but this is one of the mind fucks the vegans get into is like, well, you can't love animals and eat animals. Guess what? If that's my choice, I don't love animals. Right. I love my one particular animal. But if the neighbor's dog comes over and bites my daughter, put that thing down. Period.
Absolutely. Yep.
You know, like
agree.
The dog's life is not worth any damage to a human child. Period. Right. And if you don't understand that, you don't really understand love or the value of human life. Sorry, vegans, you just look crazy.
Right.
Right.
And the whole, like the Yulin Dog Festival thing, that's another thing that kind of bothers me. Even when I was a vegan, I was like, this doesn't make any sense because this is a country that eats dogs on a regular basis. You could go through the market any day of the week and you're going to see hanging dogs that are ready for consumption. That's just a normal thing.
Unfamiliar. Maybe I missed this in the prior conversation. What is the Yulin Dog Festival?
This is, I didn't mention this in the prior conversation, but Yulin is a city in China that has a dog festival every year where they basically celebrate the dog as a animal food. And they do pretty barbaric things to these animals. As I understand it, there's some people who like burn the dogs alive and do some really wild shit with them. Okay, that is messed up. But
not a fan. not a fan.
I'm not a fan of that at all. But they want to ban this whole thing when I don't know if that's what the entire festival is about. To my understanding, they're just celebrating the dogs as meat. I'm sure there's people who take it to the extreme and do this.
Who wants to ban it?
There's even non-vegans are against it, but they don't realize, like, these people don't realize that this area is eating dogs on a regular basis. That's what they don't understand. They don't understand that they eat this as a primary source of food. Because they're looking at it like, we don't want dogs to be killed there, but they're thinking that the festival is the only time.
The killing of pigs, now you're just being speciesist again because pigs and dogs are the same. And the honest reason why eating dogs doesn't make sense is because dogs eat the same food as people. Like the reason pigs and chickens and cow are so great as domesticated farm animals is because they eat food that you're not going to eat. Like if chickens are out eating worms and the cows are out eating grass and the pigs are kind of eating pig slosh and leftovers, they're not taking away from your food source.
Right.
They're actually creating a great food source because and this is one of Mike the Vegan's things, like if I was deserted on a desert island, I would just see what the animals are eating and I'd eat that. Mike, you're not a ruminant. You don't have a 4-chambered stomach. You can't do it. You can't survive. That's why you're so weak and pale and frail and your health isn't so great. Your health is on your blood work worse than Donald Trump's, who's a 71-and-a-half-year-old man, not morbidly obese, borderline obese with mild heart disease. And as a vegan in your late 20s, your TG-HDL ratio is worse than his, and your ultra low cholesterol places you in the second highest group to die. So go eat the animals that make food because they're eating food that you can't eat. It doesn't make any like, oh, the dog wants to eat in the wild. The wolves want to eat the bison. So I would just eat the bison. I wouldn't eat the wolf. That's silly.
Right.
Right.
I don't know. I was reading. I got caught up in the chat there. Confused.
That happens. How about your boy Durianrider though?
Yeah. What's the deal? So guys, Chris hit me up this morning. He said that he said he has to come on the show and talk about some DR. So what's the deal with the DR? Durianrider.
What is the DR? I don't even know. Oh,
Durianrider.
I guess so many abbreviations. By the way, I don't think it's really fair for Durianrider to monopolize so many cool names.
Right. Okay.
Like the dude's name is already Harley Johnstone.
Right. It's a cool name.
And, yeah, that's a fucking awesome name. And then he gets to have his like super vegan name be Durianrider.
Yep.
I was like, how is that fair?
Because he's an OG. He came before everybody. He can do whatever he wants. He's got like that one license plate, you know, that just he's got the dopest license plate. It's like BMW, you know, that's straight up.
Yeah.
Generation 1.
Oh man, I just remember being so entertained by him back when he was like the only vegan on YouTube.
Oh, that's how I went vegan. He was my inspiration 100%.
Yeah, because you do the cycling and everything too.
Well, no, I didn't. I wasn't a cyclist before that. I was total gym dude before that.
Yeah, but I'm saying
then I lost all my gains
you
cycling.
Also got into riding bicycles
after I went vegan. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it seems like a cool thing to do with Durian as the guy.
Well, he was making a lot of sense to me because he was talking a bunch of crap on all the fitness YouTubers. It's like everybody's on steroids. You guys will never get those results.
Water with my movie.
You need some water with your movie, Bug? Max, you want to say hi, Bug?
Max, where you at, buddy?
Oh, Maddox is a girl, dude.
Oh, Maddox. I thought you said Max. What's up, Maddox? She's so cute.
Well, we can call her Max too. Like that's kind of her uncle calls her Max. Say hi, Bug. You're on the Drew Morg show. All right, I'll get you.
She loves it.
Actually, do you just want to? No, I need my water. All right, so give me 1 second, and then we're gonna come
Sure.
back and blow up Harley Johnstone.
Sounds good.
All right, dude. Come on, Bug.
We got Gassy Gregor. Gassy Gregor, OG. Stop talking crap about Mike. He's as buff as you? Damn. You must be losing all your gains. Gassy Gregor, man. Gregor's got insane gains. Gregor's looking thick. You got those headsets in there correctly?
All right, Drew, you caught up in the chat. What's going on in there?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I would love to talk about Durian, and then do not let me forget, but my new video basically ends veganism. Okay. We all know there are 3 big lies of veganism, and they were founded on the first lie that veganism is the best for your health.
Right.
Well,
first lie.
Baloney, homie, and the favorite study that, you know, Vegan Gains and Mike the Vegan and Dr. Neil Barnard always love to talk about, the one that is definitively proving that veganism is the healthiest. I rip it to shreds. And that's with anything that the vegans want to hold up as proof, like, oh, look, a vegan diet, blah, blah, blah. All you have to do is actually click the link. You can't just be lazy and stupid and take their word for it. Just go click the link, read, turn your brain on, think critically, and realize that they're totally full of shit. Okay, so Durianrider, what's up with that dude, huh?
Yeah, what'd you say?
Is he gonna come on? Is he gonna come on this show? Is he gonna say it to my face?
No, DR's always he's a pussycat on the mic. He just likes to fire you up in the text.
Well, he doesn't have me that fired up. I was actually excited. Like the other day, I'm like, is this? I texted you. I was like, is this the real Durianrider? Like I was flattered.
Yeah.
Like the Durianrider is trolling me on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Yes, by the way, you can all go follow right now at Kruger Body on Instagram. I'll appreciate that. But Durianrider, I was like, I had to text you, is this the real dude? Like I wanted to make sure it wasn't some fake Durianrider account. Like I wasn't being catfished. Like, no, come on. Durianrider's got the time for me. I was flattered.
Yep.
But
he had the time to call me a pussy one day and tell me to debate him immediately. And I said, let's do it. So that's the first time that I had him on the show. Actually, no, I did that with Primal Edge Health, another YouTuber.
Okay.
But what's he saying to you? Just that one time he was talking crap about a week ago? Or did he say more stuff?
I'd say less than a week ago was like on my page, on my Instagram. And like everything on every post that was like relatively recent was a steroid accusation. And then not only would he make the accusation, but then he would go into like everyone that commented like, oh, Chris, you're looking big. Oh, Chris, you're looking good. Oh man, you're doing well. And he would go in and comment to all these people. And these people, some of them, like I've been on YouTube for 10 years. Like go back to my original transformation video, was like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So these people have been with me the whole time. Bug, what are you doing here? And now he's replying to their comments. this dude is cycling. This dude is definitely on steroids, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not even replying to Durian. I'm just hearting the comments of my fans replying to him like, dude, you are whacked out of your mind if you think this dude's on steroids. So, and really, I think, you know,
he calls everybody on steroids. He literally said that I could be on steroids, and this was like a couple months ago. Live, he said no.
I remember watching his old videos back in the day, and he would say, like, you know, he identified himself as a steroid user. Like, hey, Tita, what are we doing here? You want to get these? Yeah. Okay. He identified himself as a steroid user. Like, oh yeah, I did some cycles, blah, 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 blah. These are the results. These are what steroids do. Maddox, Dad needs to focus, bud. Can you please go watch your show for a little bit, and then we're going to go play afterwards, okay? We'll go in the pool? Okay, bud. Gosh, I love her.
Is it like 1,000 degrees there right now?
Oh, no, it's only like 110. You got to come out. Stay at the Waldorf. Guys, the Waldorf here all summer long, $99.
What is that? Is that a hotel?
It's the La Quinta Resort. It's like 5 minutes from my house.
Okay.
And they refrigerate the pools in the summer because it's like 110 in the air.
Beautiful.
But yeah, it's sick. Like because really it's like a resort town for the winter. Like all the Canadians come down here, the people from Minnesota and Washington State come down here. Mm-hmm. And in the summer, it's just a great place to like drive out from LA or drive out from San Diego. It's super hot. It's a ghost town. Everything is super cheap. It's just fun. Mm-hmm. So you should come out. We got to do that live collab.
I want to. I will.
So, but this is the thing, like, Durian, I 100% believe you when you said you took steroids. But if you think my results, a guy that has a BMI of like 26 to 27, so not overly huge, like probably right now, high single-digit body fat, so my weight and my body fat will come down. Mm-hmm. If you think that my results are a clear sign of steroids, it just points to the fact that you do not know shit about real training and proper nutrition. Because you think that real training is riding your fucking bicycle across a continent while drinking celery juice. Like, you are so messed up with what you think it takes to, like, get bigger, stronger, and faster, because the workouts that you do riding a bicycle, like, that just makes you end up looking like a cancer patient. Like, Lance Armstrong was a better cyclist after being a cancer patient.
Right.
So the thing that you're doing that is so much hard work that you're spending all your time on.
Well, he was on the juice too.
What's that?
He was on the juice too. So
he wasn't on the juice. He was on the EPO. Yeah. So 100%. EPO is a performance enhancing drug, but it's not a steroid that's making you bigger. It's just helping you breathe longer. Mm-hmm. So the workout you're doing is exactly to destroy all hypertrophic gains.
Yeah.
And also the diet that you're doing is to destroy all hypertrophic gains. Like, the most important thing on your diet, if you want to be big and strong and lean, is taking the percentage of calories in your diet from protein as high as possible up to about 50%. So if you want to have and hold muscle mass without getting fat, then you eat 25 to 50% of your calories from complete animal sources. Period. Like, and that's what's so funny is on Instagram, all these people, you know, shot back at Durian like, dude, I've been following Chris for 7 years. I bought his TSC Heart of a Champion program back in the day. Like, I know myself, in 10 weeks, I dropped so much body fat. I got so much muscle mass. And it's because you're doing real training and proper nutrition. You're eating the complete protein, and you're doing workouts that are actually designed to gain muscle mass instead of Durian's workouts, which are purely catabolic. That's like the opposite of anabolic.
I want you to tell everybody a little bit about your history with training and personal training and stuff like that. Because I didn't even know that until the other day when you told me.
Yeah, well, I've always been super interested in health and fitness. Like, I really fancied myself as an athlete, even though my athletic career never went anywhere. But I loved training. But from the time I was in 6th grade, my dad got diagnosed with prostate cancer. And then it was really like, you know, like my whole childhood, every night I'm going to bed praying like, oh, can my dad please just be there until I graduate from high school? and preferably until my little brother graduates from high school. Like, can he please just make it that far? So all through my high school athletic career, everything, like my dad, when we were really small, like, you know, we'd play catch with us. We'd go to the park. He'd throw batting practice. Like, it was, you know, all winter we'd play ice hockey. And then from 6th grade on, like, you really couldn't do anything. So he'd be like the statistician or something, you know, like he'd find some way to stay involved. And it was the morning of my high school graduation when my dad was feeling really bad. He said, you know, I was like killing him to say this, like looking into his watery eyes, just like, hey, buddy, I don't think I'm going to make it today. Like, this is what I prayed for like every single day, every single night for 6 years. And he just felt too bad to make it to my high school graduation. I'm 18 years old, and he goes into hospice and dies 2 weeks later. So just taking everything that happened in my life during that period and seeing everything the doctors recommended. And then he, you know, at one point, the doctor's like, dude, you're going to be dead in a year. And this is like, I'm a freshman, I think a freshman in high school. And he just fought, and he went to like experimental treatments in Mexico. And one day I remember he came back from Mexico, was feeling a lot better, looked a lot better. And we were going to the old Madigan Army Medical Center. So my dad spent 20 years in the Air Force, and the hospital he went to was at Fort Lewis. And one of the young doctors was like, Jim? And my dad's like, yeah, man, what's it to you? And he's like, holy shit. Like, this young doctor, like, couldn't like talk about a bedside manner, like couldn't believe that my dad was still alive. And he lived, and he fought cancer for like another 3 years, like right up into the day that I was graduating from high school. And then it was a pretty swift decline, but was like fighting this whole time through all the radiation, all the chemo, you know, the experimental treatment in Mexico. So everything that I saw him go through, like, I knew that, you know, like, you just saw my little daughter, like, I love her to pieces. I can't imagine being gone from her life at 18 years old. Like right now, this summer, I'm going to turn 36. Like, my dad will have been gone from my life as long as he was in my life.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons, like, I'm so passionate about uncovering true health and fitness. And that's one of the things why, like, steroids, or just to go back to Harley for a second, are so uninteresting to me. Like, anything that's going to compromise my health, like, I don't have time for that. Like, that's not what I'm here for. Like, I want to help people look their best, feel their best, and be their best. And the thing that I realized later is that, you know, they tried to put my dad on the American Diabetes Association diet and recommendations from the American Heart Association. Okay, Bug. Maddox, come here, Bug. You're interrupting the podcast. Here. I know you have to go pee-pee. Just let me pop the top on the jumper, and you can go pee-pee yourself, Bug. Other side, come here. Okay, go. You can do it. Okay.
She's an independent woman.
Well, she needs a little help, but she's getting there. Sorry, dude. Can you cue me up? Where was I right there?
You were talking about the American Diabetes.
Yeah, of course.
Diet.
And like, you had the doctors recommending these Glucerna shakes, and you can go look up the parent company for Glucerna. But the other thing they make is like sugary protein shakes for bodybuilders, and Glucerna is just a repackaged
Glucerna. What is it? Sugar.
Glucerna. Oh,
like
the Warburg effect. Glucose feeds cancer. Let's put this cancer patient on Glucerna. And it's very clear, looking back on it, that just like everybody else out there that's getting sick and weak and dying, is that metabolic syndrome underpins everything. This is the work of Dr. Jerry Reven, professor emeritus at Stanford, back in the 80s, who you're talking about the Framingham heart data earlier, looked at the Framingham heart data, did all the research, and said, what is really causing all of this disease? The diabetes, the heart disease, the stroke, the dementia. What is it? It is this cluster of conditions, Syndrome X, or as it became called, metabolic syndrome. And what are the 4 or 5 markers, depending on how you count it? So you can count TG and HDL, or you can count them together as a ratio. So triglycerides to HDL ratio. Are your triglycerides high? Are they above 60? That's bad news. Is your HDL low? Is it below 60? That's bad news. Do you have a high body mass index, and really it's looking at a marker for visceral fat. So is your body taking the carbohydrates that you're eating and turning it into triglycerides, and the triglycerides are just leaking out of your liver that gets fattier and fattier? Like you talk about all the little kids now that have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or whether you're an alcoholic, like alcohol is just fermented sugar. Like that's what it is. So your liver is overworked, turning carbs into trigs. You have that visceral fat accumulating, crowding out your organs, making your liver sick. You have high blood pressure. And the thing is, when your insulin is high all the time, your kidneys stop working. Like you should be able to have unlimited salt, and the American Heart Association goes, oh, it's the salt, cut the salt. Bullshit. Your body has the innate intelligence to piss out the salt and therefore piss out the excess water if you don't have too much insulin in your blood at all times and your blood sugar isn't too high at all times. So high blood pressure and then poor glucose control. And so all of those things go hand in hand. Like are you healthy, fit, growing younger, fitter, stronger as you age, or are you growing older, weaker, sicker, and more metabolically deranged? And that's really where my passion for health and fitness came from. And then, I wanted to get as healthy and fit as possible myself, because growing up, like I said, I was kind of a late bloomer. My athletic career never went anywhere. Like, if I could just be like 6'3", 220 my senior year of high school, like, whoa, I'd love to do that over again. But my athletic career never went anywhere. But I was really interested in fitness. And then around 21, 22, I became like the six-packed, like college dude that was like, what's up, girls? Mm-hmm. And then I had these obese friends from high school. One was in my grade and one was a year younger than me. And they're like, Chris, dude, what are you doing? Like, you were never the Greek god bod. Like, what did you do? I was like, dude, real training, proper nutrition. I learned from this guy and this guy and this guy. I went to work at a gym where I had some good mentors. I had a great strength coach that my best friend was working out with. So I got to work out with this guy who had defected from Bulgaria in the Goodwill games in like 1990 or 92. So I got great training from him. Just got like shredded. And these kids that were both 300 pounds in high school, like, Chris, how do you do it? So I set up a little challenge for them. And guess what? They both lost the 80 pounds of fat. We had a little bodybuilding show for them back when I still thought bodybuilding was neat. And, they both transformed their lives. In fact, bodybuilding.com put one of them up as like the transformation of the week.
Nice. Why do you think this information is still so murky to this day? To how to get how to get what you have. Why do you think this information is still so hard to get an accurate thing? Like, I bet you could write down your principles on one sheet of paper that would outline exactly how you do what you do. Not, the exercises specifically.
Well, very, very close to one sheet of paper. Like, in my program, I have like the 10 food rules. And I've tweaked them a little bit to make them a little more effective, because now, like, as a dad, my whole thing is like, it's got to be easier. Like, getting shredded in college is totally like, I don't know how kids are like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm just so busy. Bullshit. You're in college. Like, you have no idea what real life busy is.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like a gym on campus. There's a place where you can go get food whenever you want.
Yeah.
Like, you have to keep up with your schoolwork and maybe work a work study job or some part-time thing. Like, that's so easy, kids. Like, be a dad that was up twice with my daughter last night because we're regressing. Like, she was sleeping beautifully, and then for like the last week, she's like, nah, I want to wake up. So Maddox and I will get that figured out. But we better get it figured out, because I'm not going to last. But very close to one sheet of paper. And then the thing that I created out of coaching my two friends, doing it myself, and way back in the day when I was on YouTube, is I would send the program to people that would send me their before photo that really wanted to transform. And then that little pamphlet that I made grew into a much bigger program that walks you through 10 weeks to transform yourself. You finish those 10 weeks. I have a program called The Next Step, which is literally the next step in your training. But that will... Maddox, you need to go back in the other room, bug, because now you're naked and we're on the internet. Okay? Maddox, you got to go back, bug. Daddy only has another half hour. Okay. Okay. So yes, absolutely. The principles, and really let's sum it up this fast for all your audience. Beast, feast, fast. And what it's really about, it's not about trying to take control and count every single calorie. It is strictly doing what's going to optimize your hormones. Maddox, I guarantee the chat right now is blowing up like, dude, this guy needs to go put his daughter in the other room. Like, what the heck?
No, they're not. But my brother said he's about to be a dad too, and it's his birthday today. He's gonna have a kid within the next 2 weeks.
Oh,
about a
how
week
old's
and a
your
half.
brother?
31.
Yeah, that's just about right. I mean, it's great. Congratulations. That's what I'm saying. Buck, you're distracting me. Please go in the other room. What's the matter? What? Buck, I'm going to play with you all sorts of stuff in a half hour. Drew, 1 second, dude. Check the chat. See what's up. Get some questions for me.
Got it.
Bud, come here. You need to go. You need to do a show. You need to try.
My trigs are 38. Honest AF, have you done your triglyceride to HDL ratio yet? Do you know what that is? What was your question, Lester? Put it up here, and I will ask him. What up, Mark? Nathan Films. You'd rather hear what's on her mind? I'm glad you're here, Nathan, hanging out with us, ex-vegan / carnivores. Yes, Chris does have a YouTube channel. Go look up Chris Kruger on YouTube or Kruger Body on Instagram.
Well, Drew, this is what I have to ask everybody to do today is when we get off here is please go watch my new video. That really
We'll run this right into the video. I will link it as we tail off out of here.
Perfect. Let me well, we'll find it later. Okay, let me get back on our chat. Yeah, the new video, the big lie. And that is my motivation for wanting to be like, no, vegans, you're nuts. You're only making people sick. Like what I really care about is true health and fitness. And when you have people that are willing to lie to promote their agenda, to lazy people that refuse to think critically, that refuse to like drag their cursor over and click the mouse and actually read the study.
But what about the people who are like the vegans who do read the studies, but they also misinterpret the data and or they don't have the scientific know-how to even interpret the data accurately in the first place? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're all lay people. So like for us to break down the data, we don't know.
You can absolutely be naive and unskeptical, or you can be skeptical and be like, wait, why is this person telling me this? Let me go look at it myself. And I don't think you don't have to be an ordained expert. You know, like the problem, and I think we assign way too much authority to experts. The real question is, no matter what your background is can you help people achieve what they want to achieve? And for people that are telling you that they're experts, they're Dr. Neil Barnard, and they say, oh, I can help you lose all this weight and feel great. It just doesn't happen for people. Like we have to be able to believe our own senses. When you look in the mirror and you see that you know, maybe, and here's the thing. The reason veganism can be seductive is because when you switch off the standard American diet, veganism really mimics fasting, and therefore it's great in the short term. The unfortunate thing is veganism really mimics fasting and therefore is terrible in the long term. You know, like a little bit of time without all the complete protein with fewer calories, that's great in the short term if you're coming off of a lifetime on the standard American diet. But as we know from Faunalytics.org and these organizations that actually collect the data because they want to promote veganism, is that only 84% of vegans cross over into the long term. And you can see those people as the epitome of malnourishment on YouTube. You
mean they leave veganism or vegetarian diets?
Yeah, 84% of people that give up meat go back to eating meat.
Yes.
53% of people that give up eating meat go back within 1 year.
Yep. That sounds accurate.
And now if I can dovetail this for you, the Adventist Health Studies 2 So Barnard's favorite study, Mike the Vegan's favorite study, he brought it up when we were on the call last week. It shows, if you read through the study, one thing might jump out at you. And it says, the vegan group on the follow-up questionnaire reported that they had been doing their current diet for 21 years.
Okay. Interesting.
So apparently all these Adventists, most of them live out in Loma Linda, like 30 miles down the 10 freeway from my house.
Mm-hmm.
I actually called the doctor's office, the guy that was the lead study yesterday, and that's at the end of the video. So if you watch my whole video, at the end, you'll get me talking to his receptionist and asking a few questions.
Okay.
In a Southern accent. For some reason, I always go Southern. I feel like it's more authentic to people. Like they just think that like he's just asking questions.
Right.
Okay. So Drew, this favorite study, Dr. Neil Barnard uses it every time. And he does, and I should actually make a video exposing what he does, because he does this very interesting sleight of hand. But they said, oh yeah, follow-up questionnaire. On average, the Adventists have been, the Adventist vegans, am I getting my air quotes in there? Okay,
mm-hmm.
Tight. The vegans on the Adventist study have been doing it for 21 years. But we know that vegans don't last that long. If you give up meat, you're going to go, 53% of you are going to go back to meat within a year. So how have all these people been doing it on average 21 years? Like, if anything, the average should be closer to like 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Well, you have to read the whole study. And it doesn't take an expert. You don't need a medical degree or a PhD to read the study and just listen to what, or read what they wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
And they write down in the study that the vegan group is people that filled out this questionnaire. And they know when they did the 24-hour follow-ups that for what people answered on the questionnaire, they were about 75% accurate, depending on what they were recalling. You know, like like they forgot to write eggs as much, a little less often than they forgot to write meat. Like they just forgot. No big deal. But the real thing is, on this questionnaire that only got reported with 75% accuracy on average from all these people, from these 73,000 people, is that no one checked a box that says I am vegan. So there are 200 foods on this list, and they check out what they eat and about how often. And if they said that they ate these foods less than once a month, so that's fish, eggs, dairy, meat, which is chicken, pork, beef, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If you said you ate it less than once a month, they slotted you into a category called vegan.
Wow.
The Adventists are not, none of them are vegans. And the really interesting thing is, if you go back to the beginning of the seventh day,
wouldn't vegans just respond and say, "Well, that's vegan enough"? Like, because that's obviously their excuse.
Because the thing is, the reason the Adventist health study shows that the vegan group does pretty darn well, it doesn't do the best by any means, but it does pretty darn well, is because the vegans aren't vegan.
Mm-hmm.
When you can sit down and they're probably actually eating eggs, meat, dairy, fish more often, because you're only recalling with 75% accuracy on your questionnaire. But if you're sitting down to a giant salmon and cream cheese omelet topped with capers every 32 days of your life, guess what you're not going to experience? The devastating long-term health consequences of veganism.
Right.
Veganism mimics fasting, and then they break that fast at least once a month where they're not, like, tell me, as a vegan, did it seem like no matter how much you ate, you would just be like still ravenously hungry and not feel nourished?
I mean, I would literally stuff myself most meals of the day, and I ate a lot of whole foods, so I would get a lot of fiber, but it was a full where your stomach couldn't take in any more food, physically speaking. For instance, I would make a huge bowl of spaghetti, let's say. Huge bowl of spaghetti, like half the pack every time. So like 800 plus calories just from the noodles. Then you add in everything else, right?
Yeah.
So huge bowl. I put avocado on there too. These meals would be about 1,300 calories. The bowl would weigh probably 3 pounds. And I would just be sitting there scooping noodles for 30 minutes straight. And I would never get to the point where I was like, I'm never getting to the point where I was just done. I was like, whew, like I've hit that cap. You know, when you're eating a big steak, if I put 2 pounds of, well, maybe you can eat 2 pounds, but if I put 2 pounds of steak in front of me, if I'm going like a pound and a quarter, I can't eat another bite, but my stomach is not full yet. It's not full to capacity. Whereas like when you're eating spaghetti, you're full to capacity.
Your body has 2 ways to limit the amount of food you take in. So one is the stretch receptors on your stomach. So on the vegan diet, you can just eat and eat and eat and eat, and you will eat until your stomach is uncomfortably stretched.
Yes.
Because you're not getting any complete animal protein. Because when you eat the steak, you get complete animal protein, and then your body triggers the hormone leptin that says you're not hungry anymore. So just think about this. I love prime rib, like more than anything. It's my favorite food, right? And spaghetti is pretty okay. I don't like it as much as I like prime rib, but I like spaghetti. And you just said it yourself. You're going to eat the spaghetti until your stomach is uncomfortably stretched, feel bad, like feel bloated, like I got to roll myself out of the old spaghetti factory. It's a good thing I didn't sit in the trolley. That's how you feel. Versus, man, I sat down to this big steak. There's still 3 bites left. I can't eat them. I don't want anymore.
Yeah.
And that is, and that's what I talk about in my program is it's about winning the hormone game. Like what I do is not hard. Like the results that I get in it, that's why Durian's comments like just boggle my mind. Like if you actually knew how relatively easy this is, like, you know, I did a post the other day where it's like hard work and dedication. Baloney, like it's just not that serious. I'm not trying to win Wimbledon. I'm not trying to run a 4-minute mile. Like what I do is having fun on schedule. I go to the gym. I like my workout. It's fun. I come home and I eat. I beast and I feast and I fast. And what that does is it optimizes my hormones so that I don't overeat. I'm not going to eat 3,000 calories of spaghetti, which is probably equivalent to your 1,300 calories of spaghetti or whatever. You know, like, and I could do that when I was a kid. I would go to the old spaghetti factory with my friend John. This is one of the dudes that lost all the weight. One of my high school buddy that I told you about earlier, the 2 kids. He's one of them. And we could eat like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 calories at the old spaghetti factory. It'd be like unlimited bread and butter.
6,000 calories.
Like seriously, the spaghetti, I don't know if they still have it, but they had the hearty size deal. So you get the manager's special where you pick any 2 kinds of pasta. So I'm getting the a la Homer, which is like just cheese and butter, and the big meat sauce one. Then I mix them all together. But for hearty size, for $1.99, you get a double portion. And they're already restaurant portions, so they're already humongous.
Yeah.
And then for another $1.99, you double that. You do a reorder. So 2 giant plates of spaghetti. Maybe it's like 8, 16 something servings of spaghetti. Eat all that. And then they come and they're like, oh, do you want the spumoni? It's complimentary. Wait, do I want the really delicious Italian ice cream? Yes. So we would do this like 2 or 3 nights a week. And you leave and you're like, oh man, I can't eat another bite because I physically cannot eat another bite. Or you sit down at the steakhouse, eat the steak. It's the huge steak is 2,400 calories. You only eat 2,000 calories. You walk away and you feel nourished.
Yeah.
So eating 25 to 50% of your calories from complete animal protein makes gaining muscle, hypertrophic muscle mass, easy. Like we talked about it via text earlier this week. You said, hey, this guy says 5 grams of protein.
Professional bodybuilder said that on a video with Jay Cutler in one of his recent videos on his channel, Jay Cutler TV channel.
Okay, so 5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And
no, I think it was kilogram, wasn't it?
Per kilogram. Yeah.
Yes. So
and
roughly 2.5 grams per pound.
Yes, and then I looked at my food that night. Like I tracked the macros for fun based on what you said. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought it sounded excessive, but I'm at 4 grams right now.
Wow.
So, well, yeah, if you think like I'm 100 kilograms, so 400 grams of protein, like it's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's only 1,600 calories. Like it's not crazy.
Right.
And if you're working out really hard, maybe you're doing 2 a days, maybe you're a college football player, like you can definitely eat 4,000 calories with 2,000 calories or 500 grams of protein and have it not be strange.
Yeah.
Like that's just, and the harder you work out, the harder you train, the more you break your muscle mass down, and the more you trigger your body's need to repair that muscle mass, the hungrier you'll be, the more ghrelin you'll have circulating, you'll eat more.
Yeah.
Your leptin threshold will be higher before you're just like, oh, I'm done eating.
Yeah, I'm going back to the gym, by the way. I've done my calisthenics thing. I've like seen what that can do. Calisthenics what I've seen can only take you so far, obviously, and I knew this, until you start doing resistance calisthenics where you're doing weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups, everything is weighted. So at that point, I'm not going to buy more equipment to do that in my garage. Like I've kind of taken the 100% body weight calisthenics to the maximum from what my opinion. Well, like I'm going to the gym now.
Yeah, well, I could have saved you some time there. I made some. I don't want to say like I'm not anti-vegan. I'm not anti-calisthenics. I'm just pro-truth. Right. And the truth is, once you get pretty strong with calisthenics, you're going to get fucking bored before you finish your set. Like if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm building my chest up with push-ups because I'm an OG. I'm gonna do so many push-ups that I'm just bored. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling a little burned now. Okay, now I got to do 20 more.
What I felt was just more like hitting a plateau where like, I could do these deep push-ups. I would continually make the exercise harder and harder by making the exercise more and more difficult from the angles and stuff like that. Yeah. And I would hit about 15, 16 reps or whatever until, 2 weeks later, I'm doing a more difficult angle or whatever, but it wasn't changing me as fast as I know the gym would. Like I know I could go to the gym and still have difficulty benching, something that I should be able to bench. Like let's say I throw 135 on the rack, even though I'm making all these chest gains with the calisthenics, like it just didn't feel like it was transferring over into actual power to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and that's because you're exclusively training like stamina and endurance.
Yeah. It's almost too, how everybody talks about doing compound movements. It's almost too compound. Like the movement is too much of a compound. Like a push-up. A push-up requires you to stabilize your stomach, your back, your legs, your shoulders, your chest, your triceps. It's not specific enough.
Drew, here's what you should do. Blow your chest up on bench, an incline bench or a dumbbell bench. Maybe throw some flies in there, cable flies, something. Like do your chest workout and then close the show once you're already exhausted, once you're already blown up. Then do 3 sets of push-ups, as many as you can do. So you do as many as you can do, rest for like 30 seconds. Because really what we want to, like when you're really feeling the burn, the hydrogen ions are in there, like it feels terrible. Like you get to that pain barrier that you have to push through. Yeah. That's when you're really triggering growth in terms of size.
Yeah.
So getting stronger is strictly neuromuscular. Like all you have to do, like strength is really learned. So we want to teach you to recruit more motor units and synthesize them. And eventually, once you're synthesizing maximal number of motor recruitment, then you're going to have to build bigger muscles to continue to get stronger.
So you're saying that if you reach that same last painful rep at 25 reps, it's the same as reaching that last painful rep at 4 reps with a heavier weight?
I'm not saying it's the same because you're getting different training benefits. But it can be similar. And there's no reason to be exclusively in one camp or the other.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have to be vegan and I don't have to be carnivore. Like, okay, occasionally I'm going to train a 1 rep max on this exercise. And then occasionally I'm going to, like my bench press is something I do this with. Like, okay, I want to see like, how high can I push my bench up? Can I get to 295? Can I get to 315? Like, how much can I bench? And then I drop down to 225 and I'm like, okay, a month ago I did 14 reps. Can I get 15 reps today?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do. It doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the end. That's probably a little more advanced. Like where I would take people and start them, like on the Heart of a Champion program would be the steps building up to that I would then get into in future programs. So it really depends on your training age.
So we only got a few more minutes till your premiere starts. So let's. There was a question Lester had for you. He said he asked it in the last stream. Hang on, let me bump my volume up a little bit here. There we go. Lester said, do you recommend fasting when you're going to do a heavy workout as an athlete?
Absolutely, all the time, every time.
Okay, so no matter how heavy you're going to go for a workout, fasting is still okay at the very least.
Yeah, let me get back to you real quick. Yeah, 100%. Like really, I want to train for health and fitness. And if I really wanted to optimize, like if what was most important to me was being able to like put a clip on YouTube of me benching the most weight, like, yeah, I'd probably pound a Gatorade and a Red Bull or something.
Mm-hmm.
So if I really, if I want to take my bench from 315 to 335 as fast as possible.
Yeah, a little nitrous boost.
Yeah, that's what I would do. But that's not what's most important to me.
Right.
And really, if you have to have like your favorite Metallica song on and you have to drink the Red Bull and you have to, you have to have all these special circumstances, you have to do the smelling salts and throw them down.
Yeah.
If you have to do all that stuff, then that's not something that transfers to other places in your life. So what I want to do is be able to reliably go into the gym and hit these numbers, and then over time make those numbers just a little bit bigger. But when I talk about beasting and feasting and fasting, we talked about metabolic syndrome, like absolutely all these scary diseases. Heart disease. It's not about your LDL. We have a 2018 meta-analysis that disproves it. Like the same criteria that was used to prove that smoking causes lung cancer was used to disprove that LDL causes heart disease. So for the things that really cause disease, TG-HDL ratio, fasting glucose, high blood pressure, all these things. The problem we have is we take our car, we park it in our driveway. Then we go out with a gas can, the gas tank is still full. So we say, we'll just pour the gas in the back seat. You have to beast and feast and fast so that when you beast, you damage your muscles. So you take in protein, there's something to go repair. You deplete the glycogen in your muscles and your liver so that when you eat your carbohydrates, there's room in the vault to go put your new reserves in. There's room in the tank. But instead, the car is parked in the driveway. We keep pouring gas on top of the car, and then we wonder why it bursts into flames.
My dad loves the beasting, feasting, and fasting, by the way.
Yeah, was he doing it?
Well, he saw our interview, and he's like, he didn't even ask me any questions. He started texting me. He's like, oh, man, I beasted today. I'm feasting now. Like, he's texting me all the updates. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, and then, so beasting, guys, don't just exercise, but do real training. And all real training means is we're specifically trying to get better at something. And I think a fantastic, like this should be the test. Like you want to apply for health insurance, you want to like get into college, like you want to do anything in life that requires an admissions process. You just have to do a fuckload of pull-ups. Like if just like, oh, you want to get bumped in, you want to go from 11th grade to 12th grade and graduate from high school. Boys, you have to do 12 pull-ups. Girls, you have to do 3 pull-ups. Like you want to get covered with health insurance, like just being able to train yourself for that sort of muscular strength and stamina. Because you know what? You can't do pull-ups if you're fucking fat. Like your body weight has to be healthy and you have to be strong. That's like the requirements to do pull-ups. And if we just engineer ourselves instead of Mike the vegan's frail ass coming on YouTube and be like, oh, I'm so healthy. My total cholesterol is 107. Dude, Mike, go look at the New England Journal of Medicine.
I always ask the vegans to give me a flex, by the way.
Give me a flex.
And they never want to do it, dude.
Do you see my last thumbnail of Mike the vegan? It's like help me save Mike.
Yeah, and he's just like, ah.
Yeah, but that's like the most flattering. I tried to find the most flattering images on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's what I could come up with.
I'll try and make my arms skinny like that. What?
Whoa!
OffGridHawaii says, Chris, what do you recommend for somebody like me, a farmer who beasts all day? When should I be feasting and fasting?
I'll say wake up in the morning, go crush your day out in the sunshine in Hawaii, and then come home and eat a nourishing feast. And this is, when I first started talking about
fasting. So go all day.
What's up?
So go all day.
You could. I mean, I don't know what the specifics of farming are. How long of a lunch break do you get for farming?
No, it's his own land, so he can do whatever he wants.
Oh, so you know this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have like a hammock out there just chilling?
They have like several acres where they're just constantly renovating the land, growing more crops and stuff like that. So basically, they get up whenever they do that, and then they walk around and they're probably digging holes and planting stuff. I mean, it's a pretty back-breaking, strenuous type of work,
Okay.
It's definitely very active and like you're using all parts of your body.
So if you're interested in getting bigger and stronger and putting on muscle mass, you eat 2 meals a day. Fast for at least 14 hours, have lunch, go back out. We'll have lunch and a break, then go back out, work some more, and then come in and have dinner. If you want to just be lean and healthy and have perfect health without trying too hard, like it's like having 1 meal per day is the easiest schedule. Like right now I'm putting on muscle mass, so I'm eating 2 meals a day. It's twice as hard as eating 1 meal per day.
Yeah, I agree.
Like your body's innate intelligence will get you through 1 day of labor to sit down and have that delicious, nourishing feast at the end of the day. So the question is your work on the farm something that is breaking down your muscle mass and you want to try to build it back up so you're going to eat twice a day? Is that your goal? Because honestly, going to the gym is going to be more conducive to getting bigger. So I might, like, you wanted to invite me out to your farm, I might work all day in the sunshine, have a great time, actually get the work done way faster because we're not taking a break. Like I guarantee you have the stamina to go straight through and not take the 2 or 3 hour siesta and then have that much more time at the end of your day. So it's whatever you want to do, but just make sure that before we ever feast, we beast. So even now that I'm eating 2 meals a day, go to the gym with my wife and daughter in the morning. Maddox runs around the kids club. We train hard. You see, some evidence of that on my Instagram. Durian says I'm juiced up. Then come home, eat, make brunch-ish with Maddox, eat with her, work all day. And then there's some 10 to 20 minute workout before I have dinner. And that can be, I go out in front of my house and run 12, 25-yard sprints. Because again, it's not the calories, it's the hormones.
The hormones.
If you do something intense that, we don't have to do 45 minutes of cardio where by the end we're just triggering cortisol and we're stressed out. But if you just do 10 to 20 minutes, you get a dump of growth hormone, you get to respike your testosterone, and then you feel better and you look better. Like the hormones are the master switches. That's why steroids are so effective. Is you're saying, oh, you know what? My body doesn't have to make these. I'll just inject some. Mm-hmm. Well, the much better thing to do is to just adopt a lifestyle where instead of injecting steroids, you get your body to naturally produce your anabolic hormones. And then that way your nuts don't shrink and you don't have to become an expert on how to cycle on and cycle off your drugs.
True. So it's 12:29.
Yeah, beautiful people. Please go watch my new video.
Your premiere is starting now. So what should we do?
Well, I would love it if we could call it here, have everyone, if you could send them to the link, because really, I think on this one, it's going to be all about watch time. Like I really want the YouTube algorithm to love this video. Okay. Because as soon as people know the truth that, Dr. Neil Barnard and Mike the Vegan, they're just full of shit. Like the vegans on this study aren't vegan. Okay. And what's interesting is, and I'll talk about this in the video, so spoiler alert, but these people are actually religiously motivated. Like they're listening to this prophetess that had visions from God. Mm-hmm. And they are less zealous, dogmatic, religious about their diet than the vegans are. Because they're not getting it twisted like, oh, I'm saving all the animals if I don't eat them. No, they're just saying like, oh yeah, well, we're doing this for health. The prophetess Ellen G. White said, yeah, we should probably eat less meat. So they eat less meat. But they don't eat no meat, even if Dr. Michael Orlick put them in the vegan group that's not vegan. There are no vegans. There are no vegans amongst the Seventh-day Adventists.
No real vegans. And by the way, was it one of each of those foods per month, or was it one of any of those foods a month? So you could have eggs once, salmon once?
Yeah, the way it's written, it's a little ambiguous.
Okay.
So the way I interpret it is you could definitely have a salmon and cheese omelet once, less than once a month, every 32 days. But I don't know if you can eat a block of cheese the first Monday of the month and a carton of eggs the second Monday of the month and a fillet of fish the third Monday. I don't know. To me, the wording was ambiguous, but I put the wording from the study right up there on the screen so you can see what you think.
Someone says that the video title is direct. All right. So, we'll call it here with you, Chris, and thanks for coming on. And I've already linked it in the chat. I'm going to do a little outro here and then pop over there.
Okay, beautiful.
Your thing is starting now.
In my chat.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
Later. Okay, that was Chris Kruger once again. Thank you for coming back, Chris. His video premiere is starting in 40 seconds. So I will do a quick wrap up here with everybody here. Any final questions for your boy over here? Oh, Carnivore, I had some requests to get you on the channel soon. So if you would like to come on maybe next Wednesday, that would be great. We can do some chats. I mean, guys, look at Chris's results. Chris Kruger has the best results on YouTube, in my opinion. The guy is 6'3", 220 pounds. He's jacked as hell. You could tell by the way he talks about doing steroids and drugs that he wouldn't do those things. To me, he gives a better vibe about it than any of the other people. Any of the other YouTubers that deny their steroid usage, right? He has the body of somebody who could be on steroids. Okay, I will let you know, senor. Dude, 10 years. The guy's a dad now. He's been a personal trainer. Lived in LA. I was trying to get him to go into his history with personal training because he told me the other day he had a roster of like wealthy and famous people on his roster back when he was living in Hollywood, and then he moved out to the desert with his wife and his kid to start a family and stuff. And now he just has a bunch of wealthy people there that pay him to train him. Like what? Those are results. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about results. Peak results. Go look at his Instagram. His Instagram, the dude is curling. Remember how you guys, Vegan Gains did a video challenging people to curl 65 pounds with fat grips? Chris bought fat grips the same day I told him about the challenge. And he's already posting videos doing more reps than Vegan Gains. They're the same height. And they weigh about Chris weighs way less than Vegan Gains, right? Because Vegan Gains got that extra blubber on him right now. Consistent as heck, man. He can train me any day. Woo! I love it, Newly Awakened. All right, guys. I'm going to post the video once again. We're going to pop over there. I hope to see many of you there. Support Chris. He's the man. And we are going to check out here. So thank you for showing up on the short stream today. Saturday, guys, subscribe to the damn channel right now. Saturday, we have the Vegan to Carnivore Experiment guys coming on with Dave Feldman. We're going to run that 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. They will be on the show. I'll probably start a few minutes early, and that's what's going to be going on then. Jacko Wacko Vegano next week, most likely on Saturday, and we'll keep going. Thank you all for showing up. Peace.